I said he's 21 years old and he's embarrassed that he's still living at home. Fam, there's nothing to be embarrassed about if you're 21 years old and you're still living at home. Even if you're 25 years old and you're still living at home, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. What you should be embarrassed about is if you're 21 years old or you're 25 years old or you're 35 years old and you're not moving forward. Yeah, especially if you're 30, 28 years old. If you could look back over the last 5, 8 years and you can see that you ain't made no progress, well then yeah, you should be embarrassed. But if you're 21, 25 or 30 years old and you can look back over your timeline and see you made progress and that, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. As long as you're stacking your peas and you're moving forward to get out of your mum's yard and that, fam, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So certain man will watch this and be 21 or 23, be embarrassed and that. Fam, don't watch that. I didn't move out of my mum's house until I was 27 years old. I'm 31 now, I'm going to be 32 in 2 months time. But I'm sitting on 5 properties. I probably wouldn't have been able to do that as easy. Yeah, obviously, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that as easy as if I moved out when I was 21 years old. Because I'd have other bills and that. So seize the opportunity that you got living at your parents' house and that. Especially if they're not charging you much rent or rent's cheap. Now, if your parents are extorting you, making you pay £700 or £500 a month, well then yeah, you might have to move out and that, because I don't believe these parents should be extorting their youths and that. But don't be embarrassed if you're 21 years old and you're on the right path. Don't be embarrassed if you're 25 years old on the right path. What I do say though, if you're 30 years old and you're living at your parents' house, you should have 50 grand saved. Or if not, maybe some thriving business. Obviously, I'm going to be biased and say you should have a property in that. But you should be able to have something to show, like I said, over the last 5, 8 years, maybe 10 years of your life, you're 30 years old. Because like I say, I don't expect man to really start stacking peas until they're 25 years old. So this is the sort of timeline. Let's say you're a uni man, you go uni and you're 18 to 21, well then I expect you to be broke. That doesn't mean you should be sitting down doing nothing, but I kind of expect you to be broke and that. And let's say when you graduate, then you get a little job and that. I don't expect you to get paid some good money until you're like 24, 25. From there on, when you're 24, 25 years old, you should be saving up £1,000 a month, which is, you know, a minimum of 10 grand a year for the next 5 years. So if you're 30 years old watching this right now, you should have 50 grand saved up. If not, at least a property or something like that. You should have something to show for the last decade of your life. So any lot watching this right now that's embarrassed, 21 years old, 25 years old, living at your parents' house, don't. As long as you know you're moving forward, as long as you know you're trying your best, and that, don't be embarrassed, man. You don't want to be like my mum's generation, them lot all moved out when they were 16, 17 years old. Nah, man, that's not the right way to do things, man. You want to, you know, be as efficient as possible with your money and that. And the only way you're going to be as efficient as possible with your money is if you're living at your parents' house. Because there you get to live for little to nothing, hopefully. You know, like I said, you got parents out here ripping off their youths and that, which is just wrong, man.